Hey, I'm Creech. This is Creech and Cars, and today we have a very different video because we have a Jaguar emergency. This video is going to be very impromptu, unscripted. Again, unlike what I normally do, but this is just going to be raw Creech rambling in your ear because I want to start this by saying I'm a Jaguar fan. I love Jaguar. This is not hate. This is tough love, you could say. It's no secret that Jaguar's been struggling for a long time, decades even, and we're coming up on about 13 or 14 years of Tata ownership, and Tata has not really been able to turn things around, even though Land Rover's been fairly successful during that time. So Jaguar announced earlier this year that they were going to stop selling cars for a couple of years, basically take about 2 years off to completely recreate the company. So completely new models, a completely new lineup, new branding, a new logo, new everything except the name, essentially. And you can already kind of see what has happened on the screen now. And I will say, I didn't think we would see something this soon. I thought they were going to take maybe a year off before even revealing anything, because I assumed that they would be taking the time to create something that people want. I think that's the first step when you have an automaker that's struggling, is to take a step back and find out what your current buyers want and what the market wants as a whole, so you can actually get to a point that where revenue and sales are increasing. I'll dig more into the numbers and the actual business side of this in a little bit, because first of all, what is this? You can see here, this is like the new font, or this is like the new logo, but like script logo, where they have this goofy ass font. What is this? And then the copy nothing. I guess this is the new slogan, because William Lyons said it. But copy nothing. This is so basic. Like they forgot to hop on the oversimplified logo trend a couple years ago, and so they're doing it now, and it's just like ultra simplified. Very to go into a little more analysis, because obviously anything that deals with aesthetics is going to be subjective. Every car brand has its own sort of look, its own design language, and some of them you're gonna like and you're not gonna like, and obviously people disagree over what looks good and what doesn't. But this is completely flat and dead and vapid looking. We haven't even gotten to, let me go to the logo. When I first saw this, I thought that this was not real, in the sense that, I thought maybe this was a joke. This is the new logo. This. I thought this was either a joke, or I thought realistically this is coming from Jaguar. This is like some sort of, it looks like they're trying to sell like mid-century modern furniture. That's what this branding says to me. That's what the vibe is. That's the ethos that it gives off. Not this a Jaguar should be a copy of nothing. This has nothing to do with Jaguar. This doesn't even look, it's nothing to do with cars. So I thought this was maybe like they're coming out with like a luggage line, or like they're gonna sell a purse or something in the meantime to do something while they actually take the time to go through and make a good car that people want, which is what they haven't been doing for decades. Apparently, so it's a monogram instead of like a logo, because that means it's completed work and they're finished with it. Apparently, it took them a team of 800 people to come up with this. Yeah, this. It looks like somebody hopped into Canva and just picked something and just typed out some stuff. And then I guess it's like, I think there's still a little bit of confusion as to if it's some people were saying it's a J and an R. I think it's just a J, but you can look at it, you can flip it upside down and it's still a J. I don't know. Jaguar was always best when challenging convention. This doesn't challenge convention. There's nothing new here. There's nothing here. There's no, to go into some more analysis with the logo, you at least have the leaper here. Okay. But this is not, you can tell that this is not at the forefront of the new brand. The forefront of the new brand is like this ultra minimalist simplicity. I mean, you got it right there. But this is to an extreme to where it's so unemotional. It's just completely lacking anything. And from a more objective standpoint, a huge issue with this rebranding is that there's no movement. When you think about it, a Jaguar is really a great starting point to have when developing a car brand. You have sort of raw speed and power from a big cat, but then you also have sort of the refined and precise movement from a cat. And there's a lot to work with there. Given that it's a car brand, or supposed to be, movement is a big deal. And that's why the leaping prowler and the leaper, that's why those are so iconic. Because it signifies the movement, it signifies the speed and the power. And it has some sort of emotion to it. What is this? It looks so flat. It looks so It's just nothing. It looks like, again, it just looks like something they threw together in like 2 minutes. Just hopped into Canva and just picked a font. So they are going to be, I think, showing off a concept car on December 2nd in Miami. Physical manifestation of exuberant modernism, creative philosophy, and a design vision concept, which I think means they're going to make a concept that's not close to any sort of production car, doesn't have any value for the company. It's not something they can sell. It's not something that anyone would want if they sold it. But they're just going to put something out there, which is how the entire rebrand feels. They're just like throwing something out there. When they didn't need it, I think they should have just taken the more time off and taken the time to actually develop something people want. So speaking of that concept, this is probably it. Here you have like the back end of a car. I don't know what this is. It looks like an air vent, like in your house. It's windowless. Ooh, so cool. This is actually a decent silhouette to work with. You got a very wide hip and fender flare here in the rear. Something there, but I doubt they'll turn into anything. Again, what does this have to do with cars? This is a common, I guess, what people have all been baffled by. What about this is what about this is not ordinary? What about this is bold? It's just so And as the big piece of evidence you need that they're very confident and secure in this rebrand, they've had someone who's running their Twitter account or X account, whatever, probably an unpaid intern, like bickering back and forth with people who are saying it looks stupid. And apparently it was supposed to be polarizing. The problem is it's not even polarizing. Nobody likes it. Chris Bangle was polarizing. The McRib is polarizing. Jaguar has somehow managed to unite Elon Musk, Lucid, Razer, the gaming PC company, and British eyewear, who even knows, Specsavers, whatever. They've managed to unite people in making fun of them. And they've been taking it very well because they can't stop tweeting and trying to respond to people who are making fun of them. They can't just let it sit. Here you go. Someone said, this, whatever. It's something you don't even need to respond to. And they have, again, probably some unpaid intern say, go hard to it. This doesn't go hard. This makes you go soft. People saying this is going to tarnish the company, which it does. It's you might as well have just made a new car company. They might as well just ended the brand. It's okay. Things run their courses. It happens. Say, hey, Jaguar had a long run. It's a very storied company, but it's not working anymore, and they need to close it down. They're not making money. And then Tata could have taken the resources and the capital and just made a new company. But apparently this is a renaissance. What is the renaissance? To make matters worse, one particular thing you might not have noticed so far about the logo, because I guess it's supposed to be a subtle thing, but apparently the J is capital, and then you have these two lowercase a's. It looks like an O with, I don't know, it doesn't even look like an A, but whatever. And then this is a lowercase r, and the G and U are supposed to be capitalized. They're doing this because they want to emphasize the fact that they pronounce the word incorrectly. If you didn't know, British people always say JaGUar. JaGUar is originally a British brand, and so they wanted to try to emphasize that a little more. The problem is, not only is this unnecessary and obnoxious, but they're wrong. This debate was settled so long ago, there's not even a debate anymore. JaGUar is a Portuguese word. The U and the U followed by a vowel, basically. It's a diphthong that creates a W sound. Portuguese people say JaGUar. That's the correct way to say it. So them emphasizing this, it's sort of like if I started a Mexican restaurant, and then whenever someone ordered a quesadilla, I popped out from underneath the table and I was like, actually, it's pronounced quesadilla. Like I said, it's annoying and you're wrong. You're not even right about it. So enough of that. Let's dig into the meat here and actually look at JaGUar's path forward. I'll give you something to look at. I don't know. This is just going to be me yapping for a little bit. Some people already wrote JaGUar off when it was announced that the new lineup would be entirely electric. And I don't think that's fair. I actually made a video about this car that you see here. This is their new sort of flagship electric Super GT or whatever, basically a Porsche Taycan competitor. And just because it's electric does not mean it's going to be a bad car. I think the Taycan's a great example of that. It's where you have a classic brand with a lot of history, a lot of performance history, and the change in powertrain has not hurt the legacy. They've stayed very true to form with it. And Tata has shown that they can do this. They're actually going about the electrification of the Range Rover quite well. I've been looking into the electric Range Rover, and I haven't made a video on it because there's really not that much to talk about. It's just a Range Rover that's electric, which is, I think, the way to do it. Only time will tell with some things, but I think that's the way to do it. So the problem is not going to be that it's electric. The problem is that this is still not a large market car. I guess that's not what they're going for because they want to try to move up market and compete with Bentley and Rolls-Royce, even though Rolls-Royce most notably it was hemorrhaging money, at least with the car business. They don't make any money with the cars, and BMW has been open about that. The only reason it's still around is because the Rolls-Royce jet turbine engines have become a very profitable wing of that company. It's very difficult to sell ultra luxury cars, primarily because the market is so small, and even just having say 2 or 3 main competitors, Maybach, Bentley, and Rolls-Royce, having 3 companies compete over such a small market is difficult. It's become even more difficult when you factor in the changes in the ultra luxury, or not even ultra luxury, but the high-end car market over the last 20 years, which has swung so heavily towards supercars. People who have the money to spend several $100,000 or over $1 million on a car have started to drift towards supercars and hypercars, whatever you want to call them, and away from the Bentley or the Rolls-Royce. JaGUar can't ignore this trend, and they also can't ignore the SUV trend, which even has affected the supercar companies now, as we've seen with Ferrari, Aston Martin, Lamborghini. They've had to get into the SUV trend in order to make money. Even Rolls-Royce and Bentley had to acknowledge and accept the change of creating an SUV in order to just stay relevant and give the buyers what they want. And with that being so obvious, why is JaGUar starting with a sedan? And maybe it's like a hatchback sort of thing. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell with the camouflage, but whatever. Still, it's a low hit point vehicle, which has been declining in popularity. It's just not what people want anymore. I don't like SUVs, but you have to acknowledge it's just not what people are going for. So I am genuinely worried. I wouldn't write JaGUar off completely. Check out the video I made on this upcoming electric GT. I think there's a lot of promise with it, but again, it worries me from a financial perspective. I also want to say it's very possible and doable for struggling luxury automakers to make a comeback. We've seen it happen with Cadillac. Even though Cadillac is not what they once were, they've made significant improvement over the past 20 or 30 years, both in terms of just how good the actual cars are and, of course, what matters, the revenue and the profitability and the market share. We've seen them do this by getting in pretty early on the luxury SUV trend, and then they bounced off of that to start getting the V performance brand going. And we also seen Porsche make a huge comeback over the past 20 or 30 years, again, largely with the SUVs, while being able to create something that is different, that adapts to what the market wants, but that is still a Porsche, that still has that feel and still pays homage to the history of the brand. Jaguar's failed to do that over the past 20 years. They hit a huge misstep with the SUVs. They never worked on them, and they rushed out the F-Pace and the E-Pace. They weren't good cars. And that little R Sport performance brand was always half-assed and never really did anything. They never had a true M3 or M5 competitor. That's where we're at. I'm genuinely worried about Jaguar, and I'm not sure how long this is going to last. Anyways, let me know what you think about the new Jaguar in the comments below, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you won't miss out on new uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.